So this is the first slide from my presentation on Man's Search for Meaning, one of the books recommended to us by Dr. Carrie Carfagno to present on as part of our environmental communications class. That's the book I chose as I had some prior knowledge of it and knew it would interest me, but it really blew me away, and I'd recommend it to anyone. I think what's most important for my thoughts on the book for this class is what it actually has to do with climate change or the environment, which I think is plenty. So Frankl discusses this notion of collective neurosis. In his case, he's talking about the nihilism of the 20th century, inspired by the atrocities witnessed by so many on such a large scale. He argues that every era is plagued by a collective mental sickness, and I would argue that ours is a similar one. Our continued lack of progress in limiting carbon emissions, or even getting people to believe that doing so is the right thing to do, is in part due to inaction, even by those of us who know the truth and care about change. The overwhelming sense of doom brought on by climate change is an obstacle towards progress because it makes people feel powerless. So we're in what he would call an existential vacuum, a state where taking on a meaningful endeavor, such as climate activism, starts to seem meaningless. Something that contributes to the state, at least for those of us interested in slowing climate change, is the idea that there are certain minds that are unchangeable. However, Frankl gives more than one example refuting the concept of pandeterminism, which emphasizes that the circumstances of human beings can't be the determining factor in their destiny. He also discusses certain arguments that appeal to our collective neurosis concerning climate change. The idea that our life is fleeting, that it's transitory, uh, becomes attractive when we're faced with seemingly insurmountable problems because it relieves us of responsibility. But he pushes back on life as transitory, arguing that life's only transitory aspect is what is yet to be achieved. So through achievements, we pull life out of the transitory and cement it in the past. Being presented with a grand issue to tackle gives us the opportunity to be fulfilled by actualizing our potential. And that's the sentiment that stuck with me the most and the one that I think is most relevant to this class.